Hi, in this video we'll be talking about polynomial functions, their zeros, and their linear factors. Now, what do we mean by zeros? Now, if we look at this question here, it says write the polynomial function for the graph in standard form. So we have the graph here and we need to write an equation for it in standard form. First thing you should be looking at is the zeros of this function. What do I mean by zeros? Zeros are the points where the graph will intersect with the x-axis. They call them zeros because the values of y at these points is 0. So here, value of y is 0, the value of x at this point is -2. Value of y here is 0, also the value of x is 0. In this case, the value of y is 0 and the value of x is 3. So these 3 points are called the zeros of the function. So we can call them zeros. Sometimes they're called roots. They are also called X-intercepts. What do you mean by X-intercepts? It means that these are the points where the graph will cut the x-axis or will intersect with the x-axis. This is why we call them X-intercepts. Okay, so we have so far 3 points, -2, 0, and 3. These 3 points are the zeros of the function. So this is the first thing you need to find to be able to write an equation for this graph. Once you have the zeros of the function, you are going to change these zeros to what we call linear factors. Now, linear factors are written in the form of x minus b. What do you mean by that? X is a variable, you write that, minus b here is one of the zeros. So if I want to write the linear factors for this graph, my first one is going to be x minus -2, my first point. The other one is going to be x minus 0, the second 0 we found, and x minus 3, which is the third 0 we found. Okay? These are the linear factors. Now, there is 3 of them. So you can put a comma between them if you need to, if you're just writing or stating what the linear factors are. If you want to write the equation of this graph, then you will need to multiply all linear factors together. So you're going to write y equals, and you start multiplying. We have x, negative, so that's plus 2, x minus 0, and x minus 3. In a way to simplify this, we're going to take this x minus 0, which is equal to x, and put it first, and that's multiplied by x plus 2, multiplied by x minus 3. This is an equation. This equation does represent this graph, but it's not in standard form. For this equation to be in standard form, basically you're going to simplify by multiplying x by the first binomial we have. So x times x, that's an x square, then plus 2x. Then we're going to multiply this binomial by the last linear factor we have. Use distributive property. So you have y, x squared times x is x cubed. Then 2x times x is 2x squared. Then -3 times x squared is -3x squared. Then -6x. When you simplify this, you get y equal x cubed minus x squared minus 6x. This here is the function or the equation that is represented by this graph. So let's look back at what we said today. We said that these 3 points where the graph will intersect with x-axis are either called zeros or roots or x-intercepts of this graph. We can change these into linear factors, factors of the equation. The linear factors are in the form of x minus b. So you're going to write x minus and whatever 0 you have. So if it's -2, you're going to eventually simplify this into plus. And x minus 0 also simplified to only x. And x minus 3. If I want to write the equation, then I am going to multiply all the linear factors of the equation together, simplify until we reach the standard form. Now, I hope this is easy and you did understand it. Now it's your turn. Try to practice and write this graph as an equation in standard form. If you leave it in the comments, I'll let you know if your equation is correct. Thanks for watching.